Peace be with you. Welcome to Living Flame podcast, website, and Facebook group. Gospel reflections for Thursday of the fifth week of Lent. Gospel taken from John chapter 8, verses 51 to 59. Jesus continues to speak to the Jews. He says that if my word remains with you, you will never die. You will never see death. Jesus is the life of the world. And that's why the greatest message we can learn from Jesus, that he is the resurrection and the life. He came to give life, life in abundance, through his words, through his actions. Now when we look at the whole world today, dear friends, you can just imagine the words of Christ have created such a lot of impact. How many millions and millions of people are nurtured and encouraged through the word of Jesus. That is what he meant. When we deeply reflect on what Jesus says, especially the Gospels, his sayings, his parables, his teachings, the Beatitudes, they fill us with life. They do not lead us to death. And that's why very clearly Jesus said, if my word remains in you, you will never see death. But the Jews were scandalized at this. You never see death? Are you greater than Abraham? Abraham died. Those prophets died. But then Jesus says, well, you do not understand. I bear witness to my Father. I tell you everything that I learned from the Father. I communicate to you my Father's will. And that's why you do not understand, because you do not acknowledge that I came from the Father. That's why this was a contrasting effect here. Jesus was trying to convince them that he came from the Father. Of course, there were such a lot of witnesses there. Practically, those who witnessed miracles, those who witnessed signs, they all knew that Jesus was extraordinary. But Jewish leaders, the Pharisees and scribes, perhaps wanted to instigate people against Jesus. They did not want him to be so popular. Of course, Jesus did not want any popularity. He was just saying what he had to say. The word of the Father coming down from heaven, liberating people, giving them life. And they continue to say, well, you are not even 50 years old. How can you see Abraham? But Jesus affirms very clearly again the Trinitarian truth. I was before Abraham was, all the time with the Father. That's why, dear friends, today when we meditate on this gospel passage, we need to read the Gospels with that intention and inspiration and support of the word of Jesus, saying that I came to give life to the world. That's why if we are one with Jesus, like the branch is one with the vine, we will have life, life in abundance, and life eternal. Because the word of Jesus always fills us with that life. And when we live our daily life, and especially during this week as we are preparing ourselves for Palm Sunday and the Paschal mysteries of Christ, we can have that burning zeal within our heart, that life of Christ. It should not be only for us. As Jesus wanted to share his life with all those people who were around him, that should be our intention too. That the message that we get, the grace that we experience, we should be able to share it with those people who are around us and encourage them and fill them with the enthusiasm for God's kingdom. God bless you.